Hey, John here from John's Do It Yourself. Really quick, my kitchen is really dim. I do have some hanging lights, but I thought I would add some recessed lights to brighten up the place. After installing the Lumary sidewalk lights, I was so pleased with them, and I thought the added benefit of being able to change the colors, that would be pretty cool in my kitchen. So I wanted to see, is it too hard for a do-it-yourselfer to install these types of recessed lights in your ceiling? So I'm going to try to pull this off, and you'll watch me, and then if you think you can pull this off too, I'll give you an honest review when I'm done on how the lights work, how hard they were to install, and what you get in the package. So let's do an unboxing real quick, and we'll get to installing these so we can get to a review. Let's get cutting.
Okay, so let's open up the box. The box is tightly packed. There are two interior boxes inside the main box. The entire package only weighs 6 pounds. The first box includes the 4 8-inch 18-watt recessed lights in bubble wrap. The second box includes a manual, a template for cutting your holes, and 4 light control boxes. Inside each of these control boxes are 3 plastic screw-on wire caps. It's not a whole lot, so this project should be easy for a do-it-yourselfer. Okay, the basic tools you're going to need for this project. For general lighting, you need 14 gauge wire that supports 15 amps. I had some leftover 12 gauge, so I'm just going to use that. Overkill, I know. You will need some wire strippers and electric pliers. You will need a stud finder, and you will need a jigsaw to cut your hole, or if you happen to have an 8-inch hole saw, that will save you a lot of time. A knife and electrical tape as well. The first thing you should always do when attempting any electrical project is to secure the power at the breaker box. The second thing is, before touching any of the wires, double check with a circuit tester that the wires are truly dead. Now that I had the light fixture out, I could see which direction the studs were going. I also could reach the hole in the rafters to make it through to the next set of rafters, and I didn't need to drill a new hole. So let me walk you through what I'm thinking here. These are my 2 hanging lights. I want to add the 4 recessed lights in a square. Now that I know what direction my studs were going in, I would be able to get the wires through to them without much difficulty. Before I drill out my first holes, I want to double check that I am not cutting directly below a rafter. So I use my stud finder to mark where the stud is. So in this step, I'm actually comparing the $10 stud finder to the $150 Wallabot. They both work great, but I have to say, seeing the stud on your phone is pretty cool. They give you a quick and easy template to trace out your circle on your ceiling. If you are using a jigsaw, you will need a drill bit wide enough to get your jigsaw blade started, so don't forget that. Okay, now you can learn from my experience, but I will say that using a jigsaw is 10 times less messy than using a hole saw. Less dust is produced from the jigsaw, and in the end, cleanup will be a lot easier if you use a jigsaw. See what I mean about the dust and debris that the hole saw kicks up? It will leave a small layer of fine dust all over your kitchen. But the holes do come out rather nice. Okay, so now you have all your holes cut. Go back and pull through the wires that you fed through the small holes in the rafter. Take your first box and open one of the side entrances with a pair of pliers. Now, take your wire and feed it through the side of the box to connect your wires. Remember that the black wire is hot, the white wire is neutral, and the bare wire is your ground. Now the instructions say that you can leave the box sitting on the ceiling, but I intend to mount them to the side of the rafters. Place one screw in the rafter, and then grab an empty box and put it on the first screw, and mark with a pencil the empty spot for the second screw. Then just screw into place. At this point, you can close up the box and plug in your first light. Plugging in the light and clipping it into the ceiling is a breeze. The plug itself has 3 prongs with a flat side that makes it impossible to plug in wrong. Then you simply pull one of the spring clamps back and put it above the drywall. take the second and push it back while putting the light into position. Then push straight up and allow the spring clamps to fall to the back side of the ceiling, and your first light is done. Okay, review time. Overall, installation was not that difficult. With the proper tools, 4 lights took me about 3 hours. On a difficulty level of 1 to 10, I give these a 3. Really not that hard. I could see this being more difficult if you had to drill through the rafters to get your wires to the lights. And I will admit that the 8-inch version of these lights makes installing the wires a lot easier. The smaller the hole, the more difficult I believe this would be. It was easy for me to put my arm up through the hole, grab the wires, because it was an 8-inch hole. It's super cool that you can control these through Alexa or Google Assistants. Okay, overall I installed these to brighten the kitchen, and at 1400 lumen I have never seen my kitchen brighter. These lights are so bright that I had to set them at 50% illumination. Not having to install any ceiling support cans made this job a breeze. Installation was easy, as I said earlier, and there was no assembly required of the lights themselves. The setup for linking these lights to my phone took seconds. Really, the app does all the work for you. Just simply follow the steps and the app takes you through the process. Overall, I am very pleased with the way these lights look. They look as if a professional came into my house and installed them. I think any do-it-yourselfer could pull this off without a problem. So for an unbiased review, I can give these lights a thumbs up. I would recommend them to anyone. As always, thanks for watching. Hit that thumbs up button if you think this video had enough detail in it for you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And turn on those notifications. So we'll see you on the next project.